The Blues doing it again on the big stage. Here's to this being the first of who knows how many trophies this season. Chelsea remain unbeaten.
Okay, it's a huge breaking news that you can see at the bottom of your screen as well. Manchester City women have parted ways with their head coach Gareth Taylor. They've talked about it.
Another week in women's football has come and gone. A coach was fired, key players signed new contracts, a first trophy of the year in England, and much more. Let's recap the biggest moments of the past week in women's football.
Champions League, DFB-Pokal. Und jetzt diese Riesenmöglichkeit zum 1:0. Ja, da waren sie unsortiert.
A big head-to-head matchup in the Frauen-Bundesliga saw first-place Bayern Munich extend their lead at the top of the table after a 3-1 victory over Wolfsburg. Bayern now have a 6-point advantage over the She-Wolves with 5 matches left. For Wolfsburg, last summer they extended head coach Tommy Stroot to 2027. But if Wolfsburg go on to lose a third league title in Stroot's 4th year with the club, questions should be asked if he's the right coach to lead them next season. If you're someone that keeps up with the Frauen-Bundesliga, let me know if you think Stroot should stay on.
And here is Olivia Smith. Liverpool with that first real opportunity. Smith deep into the area, she's done it!
An unlikely result in Friday's matchup between Manchester United, who came into the game in 2nd place, versus Liverpool, who started the day in 7th. Despite a strong start by United, Liverpool put on an expert display of counter-attack football, defeating United 3-1. This was interim head coach Amber Whiteley's 3rd straight win for Liverpool after Matt Beard was fired last month. Amber is making a good case for why she should be considered for the permanent manager job next season.
Side for sponsorship reasons, how they know now enter the penalty area, and the referee has given a penalty kick, I think, midway through the first period. Rodriguez scores.
Real Madrid drops key points at home to 11th place Deportivo. The 2-2 draw pushed 2nd place Real Madrid to 7 points back of Barcelona. If there was a slight chance of Madrid catching first place, that hope feels effectively gone, as it's hard to see Barcelona dropping more than 7 points to lose the title at this stage.
This is Lauren James looking for the run of Ramirez. She looked like she timed it well. Big moment here. Big save Yamashita. Doesn't matter. The ricochet favours
Ramirez. A first trophy for Sonia Bompastor as Chelsea head coach. The Blues defeated Manchester City 2-1 on Saturday in the Subway Cup League final. Chelsea took an early lead, but City looked the stronger side for most of the match as they pushed for an equalizer, which eventually came in the 64th minute from Frigino. Despite struggling to control the game, Chelsea showed that champions find ways to win and created enough dangerous chances to lift the trophy, including the play that led to the unlucky own goal by Yui Hasegawa. Next up is this Wednesday's Champions League quarterfinal matchup, where these two teams will meet each other again. Let me know if you think City should be feeling confident going into that match, considering they played relatively well in the cup final, or should Chelsea be the more confident side after grabbing their first trophy of the season? Gareth Taylor has been sacked. Manchester City announced last Monday that they had parted ways with the head coach. Taylor had been with the club since 2020, and just last March 2024, he had signed a new 3-year contract to remain as head coach. There were high expectations for Manchester City this season, but unfortunately, after a string of injuries which highlighted a significant depth issue for the team, City now see themselves sitting in 4th place of the league, at risk of not qualifying for Champions League next year. There's been many questioning the timing of Gareth Taylor being fired, as it was 5 days before the cup final match that I just talked about. And while I tend to agree that the timing seemed a little random, I'm not sure how different City would look in these 4 games versus Chelsea this month had Taylor stayed on, or with interim coach Nick Cushing, who they have now. So to me, if they didn't see a future with Gareth Taylor, might as well let him go and try to salvage a top 3 spot in the league in these last 2 months of the season. But let me know what you guys think about that. Now, I mentioned this in the last video, but Bayern officially confirmed the contract extension of Clara Bohl to 2027 this past week, keeping the German international winger with the club. And there was double the positive news for Bayern as they also announced the 2-year contract extension of Alara, the 18-year-old German phenom who, despite her age, is already a key piece to Bayern's midfield. And what a great couple of weeks for Chelsea. 2 weeks ago, they announced the contract extension of captain Millie Bright, and this past week, they announced that their midfield general, Aaron Cuthbert, would also be staying, signing a 2-year contract to remain with the Blues until 2027. And lastly, in player news, it was announced that US Women's National Team star and Chicago Stars FC forward Mallory Swanson would be missing the start of the NWSL season due to personal reasons. Now, Swanson has been out for personal reasons since the start of training camp, so it's not surprising that she wasn't available for opening weekend. It hasn't been announced what those personal reasons are, but of course, I hope everything is okay with her and her family.
Addressing it has experience. Dabinia, the Brazilian, gets it forward to Showinga! Say hello to the reigning MVP!
Now, speaking of opening weekend of the NWSL, the new season began on Friday, which saw last year's NWSL champions, the Orlando Pride, let everyone know that they want to win the league again. They put on a dominant display versus Chicago, defeating them 6-0. Now, all 14 teams were in action on the weekend, and in addition to Orlando, other winners were Washington and Kansas City. In Spain, they finished their Cup semifinals this past week with Barcelona defeating Real Madrid 8-1 on aggregate and Atletico Madrid defeating Granada 5-2 on aggregate. This means this year's Copa de la Reina finalists will be Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid on June 8th. Opta analysts released their latest global power rankings for the top women's clubs in the world, which was met with some skepticism. The top 10 teams in the world, according to their rankings, are Chelsea, Barcelona, Lyon, Manchester City, Arsenal, Manchester United, Kansas City Current, Bayern Munich, Wolfsburg, and Gotham FC. Now, while Chelsea dominates domestically, they haven't won Champions League yet, whereas Barcelona and Lyon not only dominate domestically, but they've also won Champions League in recent years. These rankings do heavily favor recent wins and losses, however, and with Chelsea having not lost a game yet this season, it seems to be giving them a boost in the rankings. Overall, across leagues, the top 10 teams in the world include 4 WSL teams, 2 Frauen-Bundesliga teams, 2 NWSL teams, 1 French team, and 1 Spanish team. Now here's the full top 20 list. Expanding out to the top 20 adds an additional English team, which is Liverpool, another German team, Eintracht Frankfurt, and then PSG and Real Madrid are the French and Spanish team additions. There are also 4 more NWSL teams included, and Roma and Juventus from Italy. This past week, it was reported that a new 7-a-side tournament will take place the week before the Women's Champions League final on May 24th in Portugal. It was described as featuring quote-unquote 8 big-name sides from Europe and US. It's not confirmed who the 8 teams are, but Angel City from the NWSL has been named, and Bayern Munich are also interested in participating. This tournament is completely independent of any governing body like FIFA, UEFA, or CONCACAF and is entirely funded by a private US investor who has indicated massive prize money of over $1 million for this tournament. Now, while I think the idea of a 7v7 tournament featuring the best teams and players in the world would be objectively fun to watch, I question the need for a tournament like this at the end of the season for the biggest European teams and in the middle of the season for NWSL clubs. How many players will want to risk a significant injury for a non-FIFA, non-UEFA, non-CONCACAF sanctioned tournament that was basically created for fun by an investor who wants to see NWSL teams play European teams? But I'm very open to hearing what you guys think about the idea of this tournament, so let me know in the comments. Finally, Champions League returns this week with the quarterfinals. Real Madrid face Arsenal and Lyon face Bayern Munich on Tuesday, while Wolfsburg play Barcelona and Manchester City meet Chelsea on Wednesday. On paper, Arsenal, Lyon, Barcelona, and Chelsea appear like the favorites to advance, but apart from Barcelona, I think the other three matchups are not set in stone on who will advance to the semifinals. So very excited to see these next 2 weeks. And now to finish off this video, it's time for me to highlight the top goals of last week. There were so many great goals that made ranking them very hard, so check out the poll that I posted on my channel and vote for who you think had the best goal last week. Now let's see them.
Gets it back somehow. Combined with shirt and live. Guijaro shoots, guides it into the corner, and that is a quality finish.
Bernstein. Die schnell, die ist trickreich und wird belohnt. Und wird belohnt. 1:3 nur noch. Nochmal dieser Tanz im 16-Meter-Raum.
And then they get players like Barbara Banda.
Here we go. Banda! No way! She makes you reimagine what's possible.
Now Smith, who has scored both of Liverpool's goals at Anfield in the Women's Super League, looking to orchestrate the counter-attack now. Sam Kerr. Only Nagano in the middle, but it's her effort! Brilliant goal! Fuka Nagano! And Liverpool have stunned Manchester United.
Players that came to the league, they delivered straight away.
Kansas City looking for more. Cooper! Whoa, what a strike!
What a goal. And I spoke pre-game about being able to score from many different positions, many different areas. And Michelle Cooper last season I thought was fantastic for this Kansas City current team.
Curling ball is low.
Picked up, Pickett blasted! Kicking Pickett! 1-1!
We saw a score last year from distance.
That was distance too.
Stunning goal by Pickett.
And that's a wrap on the recap of last week's biggest moment. As a reminder, check out the poll on my channel and vote for the best goal of the week. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a moment in women's football updates. See you in the next video.